if I come as the European NASCAR driver, it's immediately like they see, oh, wow, big Europe, nice Europe.
Welcome back to another episode of Throttle Alley. Welcome back, Jill, and thanks for being here with me.
Thanks for having me.
So it's been a while since we released the first episode. I think it's time to catch up with the results that you had in Zolder, catch up with the results in the EuroNASCAR, and then move on to the main topic that we announced in the last episode. So first 24-hour race in Zolder. You competed in the 24 hours in Spa before. How was it for you? Because we all know that endurance racing is quite dramatic and cruel. How was it for you to have a first experience in a 24-hour race in not that easy conditions?
Yeah, for me, it was an amazing experience for sure. It was not just because of the 24 hours, because also of the GT3 car. It was the first time sitting in a GT3 car. And so I had first to adapt me. I had a little bit of time for sure. I just mentioned the weather conditions were crazy, a lot of rain, and first time driving in the dark. I did 125 hours in Spa with the Fun Cup, but I was lucky enough to didn't drive in the dark, so it was my first time in Zolder to drive in the dark. But in the rain, it was crazy conditions. But I also have to say the Porsche is a quite nice car to drive it in the rain. So we had some ABS, some assistance, so it was kind of easy to drive in the rain.
Okay, so for your first race, 24 hours in Zolder, managing a top 10 finish, you finished P8, if I remember right, over 700 laps on that car. What's that for you?
For sure, sitting first time on a car like this, and then being so many laps in that car. And Zolder is not that big track, so you can really work lap by lap, braking points, steering in, and all these kind of things. So yeah, at one point you can really hit your points. And then for sure we struggled a little bit. We had a problem with the back left tire that the guys were able to get it off. So the last 6 hours we drove with the same left-right tire, and that was actually super hard. So my last stint, I actually just tried to survive, drove over the Ruber, tried to get as much as possible gum on the tire just to survive. We were not super fast anymore, but we knew that we had a little bit of gap to P9. So yeah, we just managed. But all in all, it was a crazy experience with that car.
So did the race in Zolder help you to prepare for your race for the EuroNASCAR, or not at all?
Not at all. It's completely different car. So I remember the first laps in the EuroNASCAR that I was like, okay, that was my point. So braking points, completely different. And then also just the behavior of the car is completely different. The Porsche, you want it as stable as possible. And the EuroNASCAR, if you try to have it stable, it just doesn't work. It's not fast. So yeah, but I was able to switch fast back to the EuroNASCAR. Also, my first lap in the Porsche, I was like, okay, maybe I can try it, let it move a little bit like the EuroNASCAR, but that's impossible. This car is really another driving style.
So from that race weekend, you had 3 days to recover, because the following weekend was race weekend in Most. It was...
Yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm, it's right.
Yeah, we went immediately to Most for the last race actually of the normal season. It was, the last race without double points, and we were lucky that there were no double points, because we had some crazy experience also there.
Well, it started good. First practice P1, second practice P1, if I remember right, P4 in qualifying.
Exactly.
And very dramatic races, because I was standing in the first corner, which is quite a tight chicane for your cars. Yeah. And I was expecting a lot, but not flying cars. So
it was very intense. And as I think this season, the unluck followed me a little bit. Also there, it didn't let me alone. So I was one of the cars who were involved in the first crash. So I think it was number 77 who just tried a new braking point and just straight into the field, fly over, and just landed on my right side. So. Yeah, the race was not over, but I had to fight a lot the car. The car was not straight anymore, so...
Yeah, but still, you managed to come home with a damaged car in P6, which were good points.
Was okay.
So one day later, you had your second race, which didn't turn out that well.
Yeah.
What happened?
There, at least the start was good, so we had a clean start. But yeah, at the end, I fought it with Toffel, one of my good friends, when it comes to the hard battles on track. And I got him good in the chicane. He was just a little late on the brake. So yeah, I took my chance to put myself next to him. And yeah, he just completely took me out, broke the car. And and then I just drove the car into the pit lane. And oh, did I? Yeah.
Yeah, I
Just
think you
slowly into the pit lane. I ended up P18. I still don't know exactly what broke, but something from the transmission broke, and I had no power anymore. So, yeah.
So do you think that the race in Moss was the crucial point where championship was kind of already decided, even if you had double points during the next 2 race weekends? Or
No, I think there was still a chance for sure. Like if you P18, you miss 18 points to second position and 23 points to the first position. So yeah, for sure you feel that when you go into the finals. But it was still possible. So everything was open. But it hurted me, I think, a little bit more than some other driver, because I was still close to fight for the championship.
So after Most, you were in the 3rd position in the championship. Moving on to Oschersleben, you had 2 podium finishes. How was that weekend for you?
That was a very good weekend. I think free practice was good. Qualifying was amazing. And the races for sure I think that was a race where I could really win. That was not impossible to win it. But very difficult. Moss is a very difficult, Oschersleben is a very difficult track to overtake. So as soon as there's like one little mess on the track, once you lose the car, you go off track, to fight back is very difficult. And I was immediately involved in first corner in a collision. So I lost 3 or 4 positions, was able to fight back to P3. But all in all, it was difficult to fight for P1 there.
So when we headed into the double point weekends, things started to get very exciting on track. I mean, drivers starting battling very hard. How did you experience that?
Like every year. Like when you come into the final, it's always, most of the drivers say, oh, let's play it safe. We need the double points, no crash. And then as soon as you're driving, it's like, come on, like one position is not 1 point now, it's 2 points. And then the battles are much harder. And with some of our drivers who are just super aggressive, like even more aggressive. And that was exactly the thing what happened also in Oschersleben again. But this time I was lucky to pass close to everywhere. Martin lost a little bit of points because he was involved in a collision. Toffel got penalty for collision. So for me, I was gaining a lot of points there.
So when you go in those 2 race weekends, do you speak to the guy next to you on the grid, like just remembering him, I'm on your right side or I'm on your left side, let's play it safe, let's go through turn 1 without crashing into each other? Or do you just go and
No, I think like maybe there are other drivers, but I'm always the one like trying to still connect, like see, okay, like what's possible. But this time in Oschersleben, was it not exactly to the guy next to you, but it was more the guy behind you, because you just need that big push on the straight. I was on the left side, so I was happy to get a little bit of push just to come into the first corner, because when you position yourself good into the second corner, then you can actually win the race. And it's at the start where you can make the most gain. So I was more connected to the guys behind me to help me out, or even for them to gain a few more positions than the guys next to me.
So going from a good weekend in the semifinals in Oschersleben to Zolder, which was a very difficult weekend for the whole team. What was your feeling getting in the car on Friday?
Yeah, actually we struggled a lot that weekend. Just some technical problems. I don't know where they came from, and for sure it was not easy to find it, but somewhere was a problem that, even after the last race, we still were not 100% sure to fix it. And we didn't have the pace to attack, to be front. I know that I had P1 in qualifying, but I think I actually just got like the perfect lap together, and the other guys not. Because for all the rest, I have no idea how to explain what went wrong, what was wrong. Also, me and Liam, we always work together on the same point. So when we have a car who is oversteering, it's not just for me, it's also for him. But here we really had like two complete different ideas, two complete different feelings of the car, and it was super difficult to match also a good setup. But yeah, it's very difficult on those weekends. And it was not that he had something who was better or me, but he had a setup, he drove a lap time, we changed like something super small, and that was immediately a lot faster. And then we changed back, we tried other things, and we were again super behind of the competition. And then, yeah, for sure, the technical issues like pieces who broke, when I lost the clutch, things like this, that's just no chance. But for me, there was a connection between the setup that we could not really find and this part or parts who, yeah, maybe, I don't know, like just not 100% in position anymore.
Yeah, so like you mentioned, you had clutch problems during the first race.
Yeah.
You were leading the race
Yeah.
until 2 laps before the end, and suddenly you had to stop. So you were not able to finish that race.
Exactly.
So that's last position and no points at all.
Yeah, that was the jackpot for this weekend. Yeah, no, that was really unlucky. And being first, 2 laps to go, knowing, okay, I can win this race, I can attack now. And I remember it was just that lap where I say, okay, now if I can make a little bit a gap, then I can really win that race. Because I always try to let myself fall a little bit back to bring the competition together, that they come a little bit into fights and then just to drive away. But yeah, then 2 laps to go, just like the engine went up, but there was no gear anymore in the, like I didn't have any gear who is working to drive me forward. So yeah, and then I just had to park the car and watch the race from outside.
You went into the second race in the 11th position, if I remember right. How was that race for you? I mean, you knew that you couldn't fight anymore for the championship. What was that race for you?
Already when I knew that I was 11th position, so I know, okay, I'm still fighting. I was leading the race. I tried to manage it, but I was not fast. But so we never started at P11. So I still knew, okay, I don't have the car to fight here for something big, maybe another podium, maybe a victory or some points on the championship. So yeah, also there I started the race. I was feeling, okay, we did some changes, maybe now it works. After the second lap, I knew already, okay, like we still didn't found it. It's still, the problem is still there. And then I just followed. I overtook 2 people, and there was nothing more to do. And also, like, my only thing at the end was I just wanted to have the car in one piece, that Liam could still fight for something, trying something, also for the team championship to get a lot of points, where we ended P2 in general. So I think that's our main thing that we have to stay, like our main positive thing where we can stay focused on, that we are still P2 in the team championship. So I think we didn't do too much wrong this season to end up on P2.
Overall, if you think about all the technical issues that you had, all the problems, all the little crashes, I mean, P2 is still very impressive as an outcome. It might sound a bit harsh, but being second, able to fight for the championship, and then dropping to 7th after the last race, how do you see the whole championship? Where were the points where you now can say that I could have done something different, and how does that affect how you prepare for next year?
For my preparation, it will not affect anything. Like, I knew this season was a very unlucky season. I didn't do big mistakes on my own where I lost the car, where I crashed or whatever. It was really, I can go to every race, there was unluck involved. Being second in the championship and still fighting for the championship and ending up 7th, that's the game of NASCAR. When you have the double points in the finals, it's either you win or either you lose, and here it was all or nothing, and I got nothing. So P7, let's say it's still a top 10. We can still go to America to the NASCAR Awards, but for sure it hurts a little bit.
So as you mentioned, we're now heading into winter break. I assume that you will not stay at home without doing anything. You probably have plans. Tell me a bit about the time after the season and before the next season.
I'm actually not yet sure what I do. I prepared so good for this season, and the outcome is P7. So maybe I switch to the other side and I try to do super lazy, enjoying life, and trying it this way. No, for sure not. You know that I will be super busy. Also with America, a complete other training program that I will follow now, also in America, in a very nice facility, also where we will prepare ourselves. I say we because me and Liam we will go together to it's called PitFit, so that's where we can actually work out with the Cup drivers, with Formula One drivers. So that's just the elite of the race car drivers, and I think if we can compete with them at least in the facility, we cannot do better, and we cannot have anything better than this facility to be prepared for next year. So if it doesn't work next year from the preparation, then I have no chance.
So between the lines, you just told us that you will also race next year in the Euro NASCAR.
It's a possibility, actually. It depends also on America. So the preparation in America brings us also in other contacts. Contacts means other opportunities. And we are working on one big opportunity. And for sure, I need to see if it matches with a full season Euro NASCAR or just few races. And then also where will I drive, what exactly will I drive. But for sure it will be in NASCAR. But for sure now it's working on the opportunities. And maybe I'm doing the best preparation ever for Euro NASCAR. Maybe, there are other plans.
So I guess this is the transition to our main point that we announced, because America is not just about preparing a season for next year, it's also about business. You also have plans in the US. What is it about?
So I cannot give you already 100%, but let's say I can give you 90%. So it will start this November. So me and Liam, we will move there. We will be there to visit some houses to rent for full next season. And then, for sure, the preparation. And then the business part will be the main part. So we are preparing now to buy big land and, trying to find the right investors to put a nice business together. I cannot tell you what, because it's not 100% fixed. It will for sure not hurt us when people will know. It's just, we want to announce it when we have 100% all the legal papers and everything done to start it. And that will be, let's say, a side business. We will do the business, but for sure we will be mainly focused on racing and on the contacts we have already right now for the racing part. For me, I think I say that since years, that we need to build that bridge. And now with Liam, even that makes me stronger, because I always said I want to be the first European in America, being full-time in Xfinity, whatever. I know there were already a few guys, but really coming from Euro NASCAR to America, there was no one before. But now with Liam, it's even like, I don't want to say easier, but it's much cooler. We can do it together. And if it doesn't work out for me, I can still help him that it works out for him. So I'm not that ego-orientated. I say, it doesn't work for me, so I don't want that it works for anyone else. If the doors for me will not be completely open, maybe budget-wise, maybe the brand, how I get sold in America, maybe Liam is fitting better, then I will stay 100% behind Liam to push him and help building the brand Liam Hizem.
So the main goal is to have a win-win situation for both sides.
Yes, but
no matter who of you two does it, but it's a win-win for everybody.
Even like if, let's say, he can do the full season and he's, in this case, then the big winner. For me, I prefer being part of something big than just saying, okay, I don't want to be involved at all. And I know with my contacts and the way I did already in America that I can bring in some good information, some good people to make a big deal happen. If it's not for me, then pretty sure for Liam.
So talking about that bridge that you mentioned, so you will not just go to America to do local business, because that wouldn't help your markets over in Europe. What can you bring from the US that we don't have in Europe that can be improved or introduced to the market?
So for sure, and I explained you already a little bit before, but also not everything. For sure, later we will have a little bit more time that I can explain you all the ideas we have. But you know that I'm now partnering up with Brandart America. So that's something Brandart is, they do replica helmets. So they take actually the driver's helmet and then they reproduce it. But it's not a helmet that you can wear. It's really just to put somewhere.
A display helmet. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. So we have to take care, because when we say replica helmet, then people think, I can use it and take it for the motorcycle. And the Americans with
Yeah,
all the
I wouldn't
laws
do
and
that on.
everything. Yeah. So we have to be very careful. But to bring them to the European market, I think Europe has a huge market also in the GT3 series, and we don't have helmets. So in general, I think we are missing a lot on merchandising in Europe. There are not a lot of drivers doing T-shirts, cap, whatever. There is so much. And when you go to America, every driver has something. Like you can go to the 15th division, there are still drivers giving something for their fans. And in EuroNASCAR, there are maybe, let's say 10, 15 drivers who think a little bit more for the fans. Then you have 2-3 drivers, they are really all in for the fans. And I want to just get that number also up in EuroNASCAR, that we maybe at one point have 25 drivers who are really all in for the fans. Like that you can really, as a fan, come and that you can choose between your driver, that you understand the character of the driver. Maybe there will be some drivers, they say, oh, I like this, let's say, more aggressive Toffel, more aggressive Capelli, that fits my vision of racing. But then they can buy something from them. If they have more, I don't know, more like Liam, let's say is more the crazy guy. So, okay, let's follow more the crazy guy. And then some people who are very quiet, so very reserved, that fits also of some, they can also have a fan base. But someone needs to bring all these products together and just build that merchandise brand up. And now in America, we have a few very nice appointments with people who actually build the whole brand of NASCAR. And first to understand how they do, and then also understand how can we apply it to EuroNASCAR. And then for sure putting myself and then Jerome on together to see, okay, what can we give to the driver? Because like a lot of drivers say, yeah, but EuroNASCAR has to do this here and there. But I don't share that point, because for me, it's just, if we don't do it as a driver, like we cannot expect from Jerome or on, they're bringing us such a nice platform to play on. And if you don't use it, like it's on you. It's not.
I don't fully agree also with that mindset, because the thing is, you as a driver have to be a brand that you sell to the outside, because the moment you exit like EuroNASCAR, that platform, and you have like the organization that does everything for you, you get out and you have basically nothing.
Yeah.
And from the moment on, you have like your own brand, that you have your followers, they can identify with you. You can use everything as a platform. And that's what's really missing in EuroNASCAR.
I think because I think from the budget that you can drive in EuroNASCAR, like let's say it's a whole other budget than GT3. And then when you come into this series, you have these fans. So let's say an amateur driver has an easy way to come into EuroNASCAR. And then he immediately gets like this, fans giving autographs. So he's like missing some steps to be the superhero or his own superhero. And I think some EuroNASCAR driver, they went up too high, too soon. And they are now their own superheroes because they can give autographs and they can do pictures with the fans. But that's not what it is. Let's say that's the image that we give to the outside also, with the fans, to the fans. But like really producing a brand, that's something completely else. That's a real industry. That's real work to do. And I think that's just what's missing. If you have Formula One or MotoGP, whatever, all those people, they have the right people around to build brands. It's not about the racing, it's about the brand. How you sell, what's your character, what do you give out? And they are focused. I think most of the time they are focused on their brand. Then there's the rest coming, following, and then the nice seat, the good seat to win races. But they always start with a nice brand.
The thing is, you can't do it on your own, because either you race or you do marketing. Because one distracts you from racing and racing distracts you from doing your marketing.
Exactly.
So either way, you have to have somebody around or a team around that does it for you. And that's really something that is completely missing on the European market in the racing series.
Yeah. And that's also, I think, that's also, again, the driver. Like, it's easy. When you're hungry, you go to a restaurant. When you need a hairdresser, you go to the hairdresser. So if you need someone for marketing, just go crazy, look for it. You can find here, try to make your own ideas, where to go, bring the right people into the game. But if you are just saying that, say, NASCAR, that's my platform, I go there. That doesn't work. Like, it's difficult that it will work.
It might be a start, but it won't be the long-term solution.
Exactly, yeah. And also from EuroNASCAR, let's say EuroNASCAR is really the perfect platform to start. So you can be forever in Euronascar, but you have the chance to go to America. You can race ARCA, you can race trucks, you can race Xfinity. Few guys were able to drive in the Cup Series. But if you are not able to sell that, those are like a few €100,000 races. And if you are not able to bring the whole crazy marketing people with you there, and then just don't do it. Then wait, do something else until you are able to not just go into the car and race, but go there and take your fans, build that brand, and let the brand race, not you as a driver. And I think there are even not 5 Euronascar driver who understand that business.
So talking about that market, because I was in the US a few weeks ago, and everybody that knew that I work with a Euronascar driver, like, yeah, we know Euronascar, we watch the races, we follow the action. And I was like, how? That's so far away, and you have so many divisions in Euronascar in the US that you can follow. How do you explain that interest in a European racing market?
Like, for sure, it's NASCAR, so it's the brand NASCAR, and I think Euronascar we have a cool series. It's like really competitive. We have a lot of fights, and the Americans are open for it. The Europeans, we see it's growing, but when we see the numbers coming from America, like the views and the interest, it's huge. America is really following. And NASCAR is doing a great job also in America. They want to be more international. I don't know if you heard already about that the logo will change for Euronascar. So now it will be like NASCAR will be even bigger, and then they will put a little bit more in Europe, that it will just be more a NASCAR brand. And with that, yeah, for sure. And the Americans they have a complete other understanding for racing. So they are really good informed. They know the drivers. They know where they come from. They know the history. So when they have a series, if that's Mexico, Canada, or Xfinity truck, whatever, like any of the American series, they are very good informed. I was super, when I came to America for ARCA, I was super surprised that people immediately knew me as, oh, that's the European. Without any picture on ARCA, without anything, they just knew because of the number and because of the Hosh brand on the car, immediately was like, oh, that's the European. So they had already to do some research. They had already to print out papers to see who is starting. And I was really surprised how good they're informed. And then the drivers, the people, they also knew what I did in Europe. So, yeah, and I think that's for sure helping a lot that fewer Europeans go to America to try it, because whenever you are there, people always look, oh, what's the European doing? Because everyone expecting us on the road courses, but when, like me, going to Daytona, it's like, yeah, he will be like nobody. He never drove a big oval, so let him play with us, but no chance. When you then start being competitive, it's immediately, oh, but Euronascar, I think the guys from Euronascar, like slowly we can count on them here.
Well, that's the thing with the American market and the American fans. They are super interested in the underdog that gets on their tracks, and they want to see how you perform. And that's something that we miss in Europe, because whenever you have somebody coming from other countries, fans don't realize it. They just cheer for their driver, for the ones they know or whatever, but the interest is still missing. So do you think that the influences of the NASCAR will come over to Europe in, I'd say, 5 years or more, and that we get that huge merchandise and huge brand around NASCAR that can be used as a worldwide platform? I
hope so, for sure. Like in the next 5 years, it's maybe a little bit short, but let's say the basement is done now with Euronascar. Now when NASCAR comes with money, like American NASCAR comes with money to Europe, and they play it cool, like don't want to say now Formula One, because Formula One is huge here. But if you put a little bit more money into first manpower, second, then also everything like who is broadcasted, live videos, all these kind of things, onboards in the car, that costs crazy money. When you have this, then for sure it's much easier to sell. And the big difference that I see in Europe to America is a huge country, and that's a unit. And Europe, we are all saying, oh, we are Europe. But when you go to Italy, they are there for the Italian driver. They don't care about the French or the Luxembourgish driver. So let's say I'm lucky as a Luxembourgish because I have my small fan base in Luxembourg, but everyone respects me because we are so a small country. When we go to Italy, I get respect. When we go to Germany, I have the respect. But in general, every country is still behind their driver and not so when an American comes over, he gets overhyped because it's, wow, an American is here. It's like, wow, the big guy is coming from America. And for us, it's the same. We are coming from Europe. If I would sell myself as the Luxembourgish Euro-NASCAR driver in America, don't say Luxembourg, it's part of Germany, no? But if I come as the European NASCAR driver, it's immediately like they see, oh, wow, big Europe, nice Europe. So it's all about also how you play it for America and also for Euro-NASCAR.
In general, before you are even able to start in the Euro-NASCAR or even thinking about going to the US, you have to have a solid financial base. So you have to sell yourself. How do you see that as a driver? Because at the end of the day, it's not like arriving with a suitcase with green paper in it, dropping it in front of the team, getting in the car and driving around. So you do have to convince companies, sponsors that they can invest in you. So what's the benefit about it, and how difficult is it really on the European market?
Like, for sure, I can only speak for myself. I think I know at least as many guys who are coming with the suitcase, with the money, than the guys who are really struggling and trying to do miracles to still be in racing. But yeah, for myself, for sure, the sponsors, the people around you, they let you in the industry. You have to sell yourself. You have to be a good product. I think for my side, for Luxembourg, there is not much more that I can do. Like, I think we are in the biggest platforms. We are in all the newspapers. We have very nice big companies who are starting internationally now, who say, okay, first we want to go with you for the European market, but we want to go international and then take you with us on the boat to go international. So my sponsors or my partners, I don't have these one shots like, oh, like, let's do something and then you come and you go. It's more really a project of few years, see what is their brand, how do they build it. And as a driver, you also have to have a little bit that smartness to understand what is really the gain of your sponsor. Just being with a sticker on a car, it's not like, there is no benefits. It's too much money for what you can gain. But if you're looking on a 5 or 10 years plan, for sure, if you can be a brand and they can have you as a brand, or some have me as Gilles Lindstad, the private person, how I live, what I do, where do I do my groceries, like things like this. That's all things that can help you as a driver. But I have to say, it's easier when you have this suitcase and you come and you drive, because you can still have the other parts and you are always secured when there's something breaking on the car, whatever. So for me, yeah, I cannot take the same risk than Liam. Like, he can just sometimes take a little bit more risk. It's a fact. It's 100% a fact. He can take a little bit more risk than I can take. But yeah, this year we didn't took too much risk. So yeah, this year was fine. Hope he will not change it for next year.
Well, we will see how that turns out. So in general, your plans for the next few months. I heard some rumors about racing
in America.
Yeah,
true. Yeah, for sure. We go now November to the red carpet in the Hall of Fame, and then from there on we stay a little bit longer to do the appointments, business appointments, and also for the housing and everything. And then I prepare for the Daytona 200 test. So I want to do again the Daytona 200 test. I have the ticket, so I can race next year the Daytona 200. For sure, I don't have the budget yet, but I want to go again there to test. So I would just want to understand a little bit more, maybe try some different things, maybe already start understanding a little bit more the setup, because this year when I drove there, I was not able to communicate very good what I like, what do I want to change. So I was fully trusting the team. And this year in January is again this rookie test and qualification. For sure, I hope to be again in the top 40 to qualify for the Daytona 200, even if I don't have to. But just to prove myself that it was not luck this year, and also for my sponsors and partners to give them a platform in America where they can show up also without having crazy money for this test.
Just to have an idea of how that transition works, you don't just pick up your phone, call a team like, I want to drive in Daytona. What does it take for a European driver to run whatever race in the US? What's the entry ticket for it?
So the entry ticket is again money. That's the easy ticket. So you call, you say, I have this amount of money. What does it cost? Oh, okay, that's matching my number. Cool, let's come over. We can race. That's the easy way. That's how most of the guys do it. For me, it's more like first putting my vision together, then selling my vision to sponsors, saying, okay, I want to do this, I have this and this idea, we can sell it like this, and this. Then for sure, and wait for the first catch. So the first one say, okay, let's do it. Then I go to the team and say, okay, that's my program, that's my plan. I don't have more budget than this. So what can we do? Maybe I can race few laps on older tires. Maybe I can drive a little bit less. Maybe I have a little bit less on marketing for the reels and everything. So all this, then I need to just adapt these numbers. And when these numbers are adapted and everyone, like the team is making the money, media guys getting the money, I have something to fly over and sleep and live there, then we can start planning. Then for sure, pretty sure I will come to you and say, hey, I need a design. We need it tomorrow. And then
like always.
Yeah. And then from there on we just put it. And then when the main deal is done, I try for sure to get few small sponsors joining also to make the living out of it.
So your advantage this year is probably the results you had last year.
Yeah.
Do you think about getting in touch with the same team, getting a different team? How do you take those decisions? What steps you want to take?
Yeah, also, like, I'm always related to manager. So I don't want to go always just to a team, because I would go now to the team I was, but not me alone. I always want to have, like, let's say it's a manager. It's not a classical manager who takes me, brings me, and wins money on that deal. It's more like I want to have the people around me that I can fully trust. And with those people, then we go to the team. Because then first I can step back and say, okay, is that a good deal? Is it not a good deal? He will tell me, no, that's a very fair deal. We can do it. Or let's go to someone else. Maybe we can negotiate with someone else a better deal. And then from there on, we need to see also what's the team's marketing side. If that's a team who wants to have more European driver over the year in their car. So maybe we can find a deal to say, okay, like I can help bringing you European drivers over. That's very difficult. And also you cannot make that crazy money on something. Like a test, I can give you numbers. It's about $20,000 a whole day. For us, it's crazy money. But again, it's Daytona, it's the big track, it's NASCAR, it's big media. So yeah, then you just need to sell it. But yeah, for sure, if you bring drivers over there for 20,000, how much do you ask? 22,000, then you make 10%. And then still, for some people, it's still a lot of money for not really having the gain if you don't do the right market.
So you mentioned that you will probably or maybe race in EuroNASCAR. You are planning to do the ARCA race in Daytona. You are planning to move to the US for a year. You have maybe a business coming up. So lots of maybes, but I'm sure that you have a plan that you want to race maybe a full season in America.
Yeah, you have to say the maybes, that's just for you. For me, it's not a maybe anymore on a few things. But for you, there are a lot of maybes. For me, I have my structure, I have my plan, and like the business, everything. The real maybe you have, it's the EuroNASCAR, because that's just, when the deal is falling good together on the American side, I will be pretty sure a little bit more there, for sure racing there. And then, just need to see if it matches with the, like, let's say the 5 years, 10 years vision or plan that I have. So that's the only real maybe you have.
But I'm sure that you have like a series in mind where you at least want to compete a few races. You won't just stay in the US for one race and a bit of business.
I can. Like it will be pro late model. Okay. That's one target we will go. We will try to do some modifieds. It's a special car. Maybe one day we can like explain a little bit the difference between the cars. Then it will be in ARCA. So I try to get a little bit more steps into the road course in America. But again, complete other budget, and you need other partners. And then I will pretty sure do a full season also when it's matching with the rest, with the 2008, 2010 Cup cars. So it's a championship where you can race with the older Cup cars.
Okay, that's interesting.
It's something new for me, but when I can drive those cars on the short tracks, then I'm pretty sure that I can fix also every racetrack in Xfinity and be competitive, not just driving in the back. So that's like that's a race series of only 6 events. So that's pretty sure that I will join this program, and then the pro lates depends on if we go for a full championship, depends on the team, depends on also with the support. Now we are open, so it's not sure that next year we will drive Toyota. So also that's a big thing. Like when we will maybe change, then then it will be again there. Like Toyota is very hard involved in the ProLate program. So if we now go to Chevrolet or Ford, then we have to see if that's ProLate the right program. But maybe Ford is more involved in this cup cars, so old cup cars. So difficult to say. A lot to come, but it's actually good for you. Then we can do more serious.
Not that much of a maybe
all
the time.
It comes.
I'm sure that it comes, yeah. Talking about ProLate, how many races are that per season?
So 14 weekends.
But only one race per race weekend? Or do you have a few?
Yeah. It's always one big race per weekend. So you have your free practice, qualifying, and then one big race. There are few events with 2 races, 2 times like 75, but those are special events.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's also big money races. Yeah.
So those are the suitcase
races.
Yeah,
also as a driver, you can really make money there. Like there's much more money involved than in some other series.
So we talked now a lot about plans. I think it's the right time just to wrap up this episode because we are now going to the US in a week. No, 2 weeks. Where lots of things will happen, then I think that's the perfect content for the next episode. Do you agree?
100% agree.
Fine. So thanks to all the watchers and see you very soon.